Imagine you're sitting outside on a beautiful summer day. The weather is perfect, your food looks amazing, and you're finally enjoying a moment of peace. Then suddenly a fly appears. At first it seems harmless. It buzzes around your head for a few seconds before flying away. You think it's gone, but a moment later it's back. It lands on your arm, you brush it away. It circles your face again. You swat at it, but somehow it dodges your hand with incredible speed. For many people, flies are among the most annoying insects on Earth. They seem to appear at the worst possible moments. They invade picnics, outdoor events, kitchens, restaurants, and even our homes. Their constant buzzing can be frustrating, and their habit of landing on food makes them unwelcome guests almost everywhere they go. But have you ever stopped to think about why flies bother us so much? Is it simply because they're annoying, or is there something deeper behind our dislike of them? In today's video, we're going to explore exactly why flies have earned such a bad reputation. We'll look at their behavior, their connection to disease, their unusual feeding habits, and the reasons they seem almost impossible to get rid of. Along the way, we'll discover that many of the things that make flies irritating are actually the result of remarkable biological adaptations that have helped them survive for millions of years. So while this video is called "Why I Hate Flies," it's also an opportunity to understand these tiny creatures a little better. Whether you've spent years chasing flies around your house or simply want to know why they're so persistent, stay tuned because we're about to uncover the science behind one of humanity's least favorite insects. One of the biggest reasons people dislike flies is their persistence. Unlike many insects that quickly move on after being disturbed, flies often return again and again. This behavior isn't meant to annoy humans. From the fly's perspective, it's simply searching for food, moisture, and safe places to rest. A fly's brain is extremely small, but it is highly specialized for finding resources. When a fly detects something that could provide nutrition, it continues investigating until it either succeeds or determines that the resource is unavailable. To humans, this persistence feels almost personal. We wave a fly away and it comes back. We move to another location and somehow it follows us. The reality is that the fly isn't targeting us specifically. It's responding to scents, heat, moisture, and carbon dioxide produced by our bodies. Another reason flies are difficult to tolerate is the sound they make. The familiar buzzing noise comes from the rapid movement of their wings. Depending on the species, a fly may beat its wings hundreds of times every second. Human brains are naturally sensitive to repetitive sounds, especially unexpected ones. When a fly buzzes near our ears, the sound can immediately capture our attention and interrupt our concentration. This is one reason why a single fly in a quiet room can seem much more annoying than several flies outdoors. Flies are also surprisingly skilled flyers. Their compound eyes give them a wide field of vision, allowing them to detect movement from many directions at once. This makes them difficult to catch. When you try to swat a fly, it often reacts before your hand even reaches it. Scientists have discovered that flies can process visual information incredibly quickly. Their nervous systems are optimized for rapid responses, helping them escape predators and survive in challenging environments. Ironically, the same abilities that help flies stay alive are also what make them frustrating companions for humans. Another major reason people dislike flies is their association with dirt and disease. Houseflies are not particularly picky about where they land. In a single day, a fly may visit garbage, animal waste, rotting food, dead organisms, and then a human kitchen table. Because flies move between these environments, they can carry bacteria and other microorganisms on their bodies. Their legs are covered with tiny hairs that help particles stick to them. While a fly is not intentionally trying to spread disease, it can transport microbes from one location to another. This creates a problem when flies land on food. Most people instinctively feel uncomfortable eating something that a fly has touched, and for good reason. Scientists have found that flies can carry a wide variety of microorganisms, including bacteria that may cause illness under the right conditions. Another reason flies seem unpleasant is their unusual feeding method. Unlike humans, flies do not have teeth for chewing solid food. Instead, they consume liquids. When a fly encounters solid food, it often releases digestive fluids onto the surface. These fluids help break the food down into a liquid form that the fly can absorb. To many people, this behavior sounds disgusting, and it contributes heavily to the insect's negative image. But from an evolutionary perspective, it's actually an efficient solution. Since flies cannot chew, external digestion allows them to access nutrients from a wide range of food sources. Flies are also incredibly successful breeders. A female housefly can lay hundreds of eggs during her lifetime. Under favorable conditions, those eggs hatch quickly and new flies develop rapidly. This means a small fly problem can become a large fly problem in a surprisingly short period of time. Many people have experienced this firsthand. One week there are only a few flies around. The next week it seems as though dozens have appeared from nowhere. The truth is that flies reproduce so efficiently that populations can grow rapidly whenever food and suitable breeding locations are available. Their ability to thrive almost anywhere is another reason humans struggle with them. Flies can live in cities, farms, forests, suburbs, and even deserts. They are adaptable, resilient, and capable of exploiting countless environmental opportunities. In some ways, flies represent one of evolution's greatest success stories. Unfortunately for us, their success often brings them into direct contact with human life. There is also a psychological reason people dislike flies. Humans evolved to avoid things associated with contamination and disease. Researchers sometimes call this the behavioral immune system. Long before modern medicine existed, avoiding spoiled food and unsanitary conditions increased the chances of survival. Because flies frequently appear around waste, decay, and decomposing materials, our brains often interpret their presence as a warning sign. Even if the fly itself poses little immediate danger, the instinctive reaction remains. This may explain why many people feel disgust rather than simple annoyance when they encounter flies. Interestingly, flies themselves are not trying to be pests. They are simply following biological programming that has been refined over millions of years. Everything they do, from landing on food to avoiding swats, serves a survival purpose. What humans see as irritating behavior is often just a highly effective adaptation. For example, the fly's rapid reflexes are essential for escaping predators. Birds, spiders, frogs, and countless other animals feed on flies. If flies reacted slowly, their populations would quickly decline. Likewise, their attraction to strong odors helps them locate food in complex environments. The same smell that leads a fly to a garbage may also lead it to a picnic table. The fly is not making a moral decision. It is simply responding to chemical signals. Yet understanding these facts does not necessarily make flies any less annoying. Most people would still prefer not to have a buzzing insect circling their head during dinner. And that's perhaps the most important point of all. Flies are not hated because they are evil. They are hated because their natural behaviors often conflict with human comfort, cleanliness, and personal space. After examining the science behind flies, it becomes clear why they have earned such a negative reputation. They invade our homes. They interrupt our meals. They buzz around our faces. They land on things we would rather keep clean. And they seem to possess an almost supernatural ability to avoid being swatted. From a human perspective, these characteristics make flies incredibly frustrating. Yet there is another side to the story. The very traits that make flies annoying are also the traits that have allowed them to survive for millions of years. Their fast reflexes help them avoid predators. Their adaptability allows them to live in diverse environments. Their feeding strategies enable them to exploit food sources that many other animals cannot use. Their reproductive success ensures that their populations remain stable despite enormous environmental pressures. In other words, flies are not failures of nature. They are actually highly successful products of evolution. The conflict arises because their success frequently intersects with human life. When we encounter a fly buzzing around our kitchen, we are witnessing a species that has mastered survival through persistence, adaptability, and efficiency. Unfortunately, those same qualities can test our patience. Perhaps that is why flies inspire such strong reactions. They remind us that nature does not exist solely for human convenience. Many organisms have evolved to survive in ways that benefit themselves rather than us. And sometimes those organisms end up hovering directly in front of our noses. So do I still hate flies? Honestly, yes. I don't enjoy them landing on food. I don't enjoy hearing them buzz around my room at night. And I definitely don't enjoy chasing them around the house. But I can also appreciate the remarkable biology that makes them so effective. The next time you see a fly, take a moment to consider what you're looking at. You're not just seeing a nuisance. You're seeing a creature whose ancestors survived mass extinctions, environmental changes, predators, and countless challenges over millions of years. It's a tiny insect with extraordinary abilities. That doesn't mean you have to like it. It simply means there's more to the story than annoyance alone. And that's one of the most fascinating things about science. The more we learn about the organisms around us, the more we realize that even the creatures we dislike often have incredible stories to tell. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of flies, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with anyone who has ever been driven crazy by a buzzing fly. Also, let us know in the comments what insect annoys you the most and why. Until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and we'll see you in the next video.